With just over 10 days left in the month of September, thousands of beneficiaries are still waiting for their social grants to reflect in their accounts. Despite assurances from government that the so-called glitch in the system would be quickly rectified, many recipients who've spent days queuing say they're giving up hope. Many say they don't have enough money for the trips to join the queues, and some are simply going hungry. The DA is now taking government to the South African Human Rights Commission, but that does nothing to solve the immediate problem for those affected. eNCA's Hloni Mtimkulu is tracking developments for us in Johannesburg, and she joins us now live. Hloni, we received a statement from the Post Bank just a few hours ago, actually a few minutes ago. It says that it's been able to sort out the technical glitch, and those 160,000 or so grant beneficiaries have been able to access their grants. Is this true from what you're seeing on the ground?
So, Masako, I did see that statement as well, and I have to go back to the statements that came out 2 weeks ago, around the 7th or the 8th of September, that said that functioning of the system had been restored on their end, and we went to the ground, and still at that point hundreds of people, I think thousands of people if you think of other parts of the country, still hadn't been paid, still couldn't access their funds over different issues. So the lines last week, the week before that, were so much in the morning, and we would go just even in the afternoon as well, and there'd still be lots of people. Yesterday we were back around Shawela, around Lenasia as well. The lines weren't so much, but now we are at the Lenasia post office. There isn't a line, so I think the numbers have certainly dwindled. But yesterday we heard that people still hadn't received their money. At that point yesterday, there were maybe about 150 people in queues who still hadn't received their funding. Today, again, no queues, but at Shawela we had a few people who had been told to come back on Friday. We had people that had been told to come back tomorrow. There were a few people who were told, we can see your money go to a boxer. We followed a family, and they were able to receive some of their money, and these are people that had not been paid since August, and they were trying to get by. So in terms of that, there are still people today that actually we have been speaking to who still say that they have not been paid, and they are still waiting for their funding. You see the people that are behind me. I'm not going to speak to them because we have been trying to speak to people, and it's just so many people that just don't want to speak on camera. They say we haven't been paid, but we're not going to speak on camera. And I don't know if last week with the numbers and even yesterday with the numbers, people are more willing to speak when there are other people. But we've had people today tell us that they're scared that if they speak out, then their money will be taken. People will be able to identify them, that sort of thing. But there are people today who have told us that they have still not yet received their funding. So as much as I understand that the system issues that Post Bank says have been resolved on their end, there are still people on the ground today even that have still not received their funding. And actually I had a man who said to me that they're being told to come back in 10 days time. So and 10 days time is effectively just about the next pay cycle. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they don't understand what's happening as well. They're not picking up these cases as well. I don't know, but not all people have been paid. That's the bottom line, Masako.
That's strange, Hloni. Maybe there is some systematic glitch in terms of what they see in their offices and what's happening on the ground. But when you attended that media briefing by the Communications Minister and the Social Development Minister, the Post Office representative said that what was taking long was being able to reverse the money that was reflecting that it was withdrawn. And she said that that was the issue, making sure that the money is actually put back into the accounts of the grant beneficiaries. Did you find any beneficiaries who were going through that?
So that's the thing. There have been so many different situations that different grant recipients are facing. So there's some that come that go to like a retailer, like Boxer, like ShopRite, like Pick n Pay, and they are told, we can see your money, but you must go to a post office to access the money, or they can't see the money at all, go to a post office. And then they come to the post office, and here at the post office they're dealing with other issues. These systems are offline. There's electricity, power cut issues that are are playing also into all of this, and then they're not able to access their funding. So I can't say whether people who have not been able to access their funding is because there's a delay in the refunding or, you know, what the actual issue is. The point is they just haven't been able to access their funding, whatever the reason is. And I think, look, you can't access the money that you need, you know, to do what you need to do for your family. Whatever the reason is, the fact is you still haven't been able to access your money 2 weeks into this pay cycle. What is going on? So, you know, it's just, I can't see what's going on. The other thing is also because there's so few post offices around that people can access the post bank services, people are having to go very far because, you know, the post offices have been closed and have to come like to here to we keep talking about Shawela and Lenasia and town because there are so few places besides the retailers where they can access the post bank services, you know. But where we have come, where we have gone, it hasn't always been the case that they have had money, and we can't work out what the issue is, whether it is those reversals that have taken a long time or just from the beginning, the 5th of September, there was no money in their accounts, it was hanging, all sorts of different issues, Masako. So I don't think we can nail down what one specific issue is or whether those reversals are the cause for the delays that are happening or that have happened, Masako.
All right, Hloni Mtimkulu live for us in Johannesburg.